My name is Mike Sullivan. I'm a former IRS agent. I was a teaching instructor when I was there. I'm an IRS expert when it comes to the collection division. I've written a best-selling book on Amazon called Exposing Secrets for IRS Settlements. It's right here. And you know, I get a lot of flack about the IRS National Standards Program, like I wrote them. But I want to tell you there's ways to go ahead and expand the IRS National Standards Program. I've worked thousands of IRS cases, and if there's one thing I think about IRS, one of the programs is the IRS National Standards Program absolutely suck. There's no other word that you can use for that. I don't know who they're applied for. Remember, IRS looks at everyone in a county and they take their statistics. So for the rich, the middle class, the poor, everybody. But there's ways to go ahead and expand the IRS National Standards Program that most people don't know. They're not fixed in stone. Many people think there are. So let me go over some ways. I've jotted a few ways down. So if your food, let me just look into some of the things that I want to go ahead and I read for you. So the documented necessary expenses, if you actually, your food and clothing and other exceed the National Standards Program, you've got to explain those to IRS. And it says here the IRS National Standards Program can be expanded. Now, for health and welfare exceptions, they've got to be unique personal situations, such as specialized schooling districts. Certainly, if your child's disabled and needs disabled caring, they can exceed the national standard. So these standards can be expanded, for instance, for health and welfare, especially if the medical expenses are much greater because of health, sickness, and disease. You just have to explain that to IRS. And let me tell you, if you're running into a problem, you can always appeal those or file a 911 form with Internal Revenue Service. Household size limit, if your household contains 6 or more people, those standards do extend. And then you have a 6-year rule for a total debt if you can't afford the standard payment plan, but you can go ahead and show IRS you're going to pay them off within the statute. You can go ahead and expand the payments that way. And your local standards for housing and transportation, you know, many times they just don't fit where you live. There's some cities where some of the payments just are more, just because of what you do for a living. You have to have nicer cars. You can't have a piece of garbage. But you have to show, I'll give you a good one, a real estate agent. You can't be driving in a crappy old car for a real estate agent. You have to have a nicer car. So there's exceptions to every rule. The big thing is you just have to have a reasonable cause and explain it to IRS. So in the area of health and welfare, in the area of household limitation sizes, you can expand them. For a 6-year payoff, they can be expanded. And certainly for the local standards, many times they just don't cover what a family of 4, 5, and 6 because of grocery costs or other things or needs that family has. All you've got to do is go ahead and document those and send them to IRS. Now, let me be really honest. For the most of you who are going ahead and looking at this, you're thinking, how am I going to go ahead and get this done? The reality is you're not. You're going to need somebody to go ahead and do this. Who you pick, I don't care. We do this well, but it doesn't have to be us. As long as you have documentation and you can convince the IRS or their management that you have higher expenses than most, because of this reason, you should be good to go. They're not easy to do, but with the right documentation, you can go ahead and get these other things expanded. IRS is a pain in the ass when it comes to the national standards. You think these were the Moseses and God's 10 commandments. They're not. They're actually what IRS considers norms, but they're not always norms. You've got to fight to win, and you should be able to win as long as you document. Anyway, that's the truth about IRS national standards. Never settle for less. If you can prove it and you can show it, you're probably going to get someone to buy it at IRS. I've been doing this a long time. Documentation wins. I wish the best to you. Give me a subscription. I try to tell you things you need. Don't settle for less. As long as you document it, prove it, and show it, you're good to go. Thank you.